Hey, good afternoon, everyone. It's time for Strat-O-Matic Baseball. Steve Aquilon here with you on a Sunday afternoon. Got some more snow. Woke up to some more snow. It stopped now. Up to about 38 degrees in Spokane. Snow should go away soon as rain is expected over the next couple of days. Anyway, we got a ball game today. I'm not sure why I delight you with the weather report, but anyway, it's we all talk about the weather though, don't we? It's just something that people do. At least normal people. Well, I've never put myself in that category, so I guess that's why I find it strange. A category of a normal person, that is. Franklin Long's here for the first pitch today. You must have got up early, Franklin. No, I tease you. Let's go back to April 30th, 1966. It's the Cincinnati Reds at the Los Angeles Dodgers. About 44,600 in the place. It's a Saturday evening game, so near capacity here for this one. It will be the right-hander Joey J on the mound for the Reds. Sandy Koufax on the mound for the Dodgers. And if you're like me, one of the things we look forward to in Strat-O-Matic in this time period is using Koufax. And so far, he doesn't always live up to the hype, but so far he has. In 4 starts this season, 4-0. 1.78 ERA, 3 complete games, including a shutout, 35 and a third innings, only 23 hits allowed, and an insane 46 strikeouts. Joey J, despite the high 5.05 ERA on the card, is also off to a good start. He's only been in 2 ball games, 1 start. He is 0-1 with a 2.45 ERA, 7 and a third innings, 6 hits allowed, 3 strikeouts. So those are your starters. Second of a 3-game series. Remember, the Reds won the first game of the series, and they won this game in real life. So don't count the Reds out. They come in with a 5-8 record. The Dodgers tied with the Pirates, 12-5 atop the National League. Here's the lineup for the Cincinnati Reds. It will be Tommy Helms leading off at second base. Pete Rose is at third base. Vada Pinson in right field hits third. Darren Johnson, DJ, in left in the cleanup spot today. Don Pavletic will do the catching and hit fifth. Tony Perez against the lefty will get another start at first base. Leo Cardenas at shortstop, and Tommy Harper now dropped to the 8th spot in the lineup. He batted 7th in the last game. So he's gone from leadoff to 7th to 8th and would appear to be in Don Hefner's doghouse. Jay, of course, the pitcher, bats 9th. For the Dodgers, it will be Maury Wills leading off at shortstop, Wes Parker at first base, Willie Davis in center field, Ron Fairley in right field in the 4 spot, Lou Johnson in left field hits 5th, Jim Lefevre at third base, Johnny Roseborough will do the catching and hit 7th, Nate Oliver at second base, and Koufax, of course, bats 9th. And greetings to Joe Horlin as well. Welcome, glad to have you on a Sunday afternoon. And Joel says, I had a first last night. The game was decided by the catcher blocking the plate rule. Bench was catching, and he prevented the would-be game-winning run from scoring. That's excellent. Yeah, I use that in my Windows leagues, the keeper leagues I'm in. And boy, I've got a couple more drafts coming up next week. One draft, as you guys know, already in the books, but I'm in 5 2023 keeper leagues. Plus the one on 365, so actually that's 6. And welcome Rick DeBar. Great to have you, Rick. Looks like we got quite a few of the familiar faces in the chat today as the Dodgers take the field. Koufax completing his warm-ups now as the umpire says play ball. And Tommy Helms will step in, right-handed batter. Helms comes into the game batting .191, 47 at bats, no home runs, 3 RBIs. Koufax gets the sign from Roseboro. Here's the windup and a pitch to Helms. It's a 111 against the lefty, and Tommy Helms lines a base hit right up the middle to lead the game off with a single, and we are underway. So a single by Helms, not a threat to steal now. Here's Pete Rose. Trying to adjust my eyes to the lighting and the laptop. Very hard for me to read the stats on the laptop for some reason today. But anyway, Rose comes in hitting .278, 1 home run, 4 runs batted in, a switch hitter batting righty against Koufax. Koufax from the stretch. The pitch to Rose, a 4-10 to the right-hander, grounder to shortstop X, that's Wills. This could be 2. Wills a 3E27, and here's the roll on the play. On an 18, he's got it. To Oliver to Parker, double play. So 6-4-3-X. Runner is erased. 2 down. And here's Veda Pinson. Pinson, of course, my favorite Red. Leads the team in hitting at .320. 2 home runs and 7 RBIs. Left on left now as Koufax comes set. Here's the windup. Pitch to Pinson on a 2-3. It's a tapper to short. It's Wills again. He's got it over to first, and that will retire the side. So no runs a hit, nobody left. We go to the bottom of the first. Reds nothing, Dodgers coming to bat. And Joey J getting loose now. It will be Wills to lead things off. Wills comes in leading the team in hitting, .357. No home runs, 2 RBIs. But for Wills, you don't measure him by RBIs. He scored 14 times, stole 7 bases, caught twice. Batting lefty against Jay. Jay gets the sign from Pavletic. Here's the windup. The pitch to Maury Wills, a 4-3 to the lefty. It's a base hit into right field. It's a leadoff single for Rose. For Wills, rather, Rose. Excuse me, I beg your pardon. A leadoff single for Wills. Jay, a +5 hold. Pavletic, a +2. Of course, the most the combination can be is 5. That would make Wills a 20. He'll have to be held on, making him a 1-18. So with Pavletic catching Jay, the Reds apparently not at all concerned with holding runners on in this one. And at 1-18, Wills is going to try for that lead. 2-10 or 12. On a 3, he's got the lead. The pitch to Parker. 1-18, there goes Wills. Pavletic's throw, he's stolen it. Not a big surprise with that pitcher-catcher hold combo. So Wills picks up his 8th stolen base of the season already. And here's Jay's next pitch to Wes Parker. 4-8 to the left-hander, single 2 stars. Wills rounding, he's going to come in and score, and it's 1-0 LA. And I can hear you now. That's the only run Koufax will need. Sometimes that's true. Sometimes that's true. Parker not a threat to run. Although he's a 14 with this combo, he's a 19. 7-12. Heck, he might as well try for it. 9, he does not get a good lead. Not all that surprising. And here's Willie Davis now. Willie comes in hitting .321. No home runs, 10 RBIs, second on the club. Jay from the stretch. Pitch to Davis, a 111 against the righty. A ground ball to first base. Perez has it. His only play is to Jay, and Parker will take second. One away, and Ron Fairley will be the batter now. Fairley comes in hitting .260 on the season, 1 home run, 9 RBIs. Jay into the windup. Pitch to Fairley, that's a 4-4, left-handed catcher's card X. That's going to be Pavletic, a 4E13. And here's the roll on the play. On a 2, pass ball and pop out. So the pass ball Pavletic will allow Parker to scoot into third. And the pop out is the second out of the inning. So Parker on third, 2 down now, and here's Lou Johnson. Johnson comes into the game at .328, 2 home runs, leads the team with 14 RBIs. Jay ready to work now. Here's the windup, and here's the pitch to Johnson. That's going to be a 3-6 right-handed. He struck him out, and that will retire the side. But the speed of Wills manufactures a run. 1 run, 2 hits, 1 left. We've played an inning, and it is 1-0 Dodgers. And welcome, Yankee Bob. Good to have you today. And Bob says, let's go Koufax. Koufax is always fun, isn't he? One of my favorite cards to use, regardless of which card it is, from 62 to 66. This, of course, his final season. And it will be Johnson, Pavletic, and Perez in the second. DJ, he comes into the game batting .195, 3 home runs, 8 RBIs. Koufax into his windup. Pitch to Johnson, a 110 against the lefty. It's a high fly ball to deep left field. Johnson going back. It's off the wall. Johnson scurrying to get it, and Darren Johnson is in with a stand-up double. So let's take another look at that. 110 homer to 2. The roll is an 11. If you can see that, I'll bring it in a little closer. It's a leadoff double for DJ. So for the second inning in a row, the Reds get the leadoff man aboard. And here's Pavletic. Don Pavletic comes in hitting .211, 1 homer, 3 RBIs. He's only played in 7 games. Johnny Edwards doing the bulk of the catching, but the left-hander Edwards will sit against Koufax. And welcome Bearsden. You know, most of his cards do. Interestingly enough, that was the one thing he would do, was throw up the occasional gopher ball. Well, let's take a look at the front of the card. He allowed 19 home runs in 323 innings. Pretty good, actually. But you got to remember, too, Dodger Stadium in the 60s, the fences were at least 10, if not 15 feet further than they are today. Back, I mean. Very tough to get one out of there. So when you hit a home run there, you earned it. Koufax checks his runner now. The windup, the pitch to Pavletic, a 4-6 to the right. He gets a grounder to third base. Lefevre has it. Glance at the runner and throws him out 1 down. And here's Tony Perez. Perez has been playing a little bit more of late. On the season, he's been in 6 ball games. He's hitting .238, 1 homer, 3 RBIs. Remember, Coleman was doing most of the work at first base in the early going. So here's Perez now. Koufax the windup. Pitch to Tony Perez. A 2-5 is going to be a fly ball into left field. That's Johnson. He's there to make the catch 2 down. And it will be up to Leo Cardenas. Cardenas batting only .200, but 3 home runs, 7 RBIs. Koufax into his windup. Pitch to Cardenas. A 2-7 He rips the one down into the left field line. That's going to be extra bases. Johnson will come in to score, and we got a tie ball game. Cardenas winds up at second with an RBI double. 2-7, a clean double to left. No doubt about that one. I didn't even need to look at the split die. And with 2 away, Tommy Harper will come to the plate. Harper off to a very poor start, now hitting 102, just 5 for 49. And does not have an RBI. Koufax the windup. The pitch to Harper. That's a 1-6. Tapper down to third base. Lefevre. And that'll do it. Throws him out. That retires the side. That's going to be a run on 2 hits, 1 left. And we go to the bottom of the second, all tied up at 1. And greetings to Jack Brooks as well. Glad to have you today, Jack. Bears Den says maybe it's for the 2 lifetime home runs that Bob Uecker hit off of Sandy. You know, that could be. That's worth a diamond in itself. Is that what you're saying? Yeah, it very well might be. Who am I to argue? As we go to the bottom of the second, it's going to be Lefevre, Roseboro, and Oliver for Los Angeles. Joey J getting his sign now. Here's the windup. Pitch to Lefevre, a 2-7. Struck him out. 2 in a row, and the second strikeout of the game for Jay. By contrast, Koufax doesn't have a strikeout yet. And here's Johnny Roseboro. Roseboro came into the game hitting 156, 1 homer, 6 RBIs. So Johnny trying to get on track here as Jay comes set. The windup and the pitch. A 6-5 to the lefty is a fly ball to left field. That's playable for Johnson. And quickly there are 2 down in the second. And that'll bring up Nate Oliver. Oliver, as I mentioned before, he's in there for his glove, not his bat. He comes into the game hitting 218. No home runs, 4 RBIs. Jay into the windup. Pitch to Oliver, a 6-4 to the right-hander. It's a grounder to third base X. That's going to be Rose, a 40-35. Rose to his left. Here's the play. On a 5, he's not going to get that. In fact, that's down the line for extra bases. Oliver rounding, and he'll be in with a 2-out double. And that'll bring up Sandy Koufax. 1W, right-handed batter. Jay gets his sign now. Here's the pitch on a 5-7. Oh my goodness, that's into the gap for extra bases. That's going to be a double for Sandy Koufax. And the Dodgers are back on top 2-1. So the bottom of the order here, Oliver and Koufax. Let's take another look. 5-7, right-handed hitter, double to 10. The roll is a 3. Sure enough, Sandy Koufax, never known for his hitting, with an RBI double in the bottom of the second. And here's Wills now. Wills singled and stole, came around to score in the first. Jay into the windup. Pitch to Maury, a 2-12 against the righty. It's going to be a foul ball on the right side. Perez drifting over. He's got it. And that will retire the side. But 1 run, 2 hits, they leave 1. We've played 2 complete. It's Dodgers 2, Reds 1. As Koufax gets ready to work in the third inning, it's going to be Jay, Helms, and Rose due up for Cincinnati. Joey J, a switch hitter, so he'll be batting right-handed against Koufax. Koufax the windup. Pitch to Jay, 4-7. Fly ball into right field. That's Fairley. He's right there to make the catch, 1 down. And here's Tommy Helms. Helms led off the game with a base hit. Koufax into the windup now. Pitch to Helms. That's going to be a 3-8 against the lefty. It's a comebacker. Koufax fields it. Throws to Fairley, quickly 2 away. And here's Pete Rose now. Rose bounced into a double play his first time up. Koufax did his windup. The pitch is a 1-7. Fly ball into left field, playable for Lou Johnson, and it's a 1-2-3 inning for Sandy. Still without a K. So Koufax, not entirely Koufax-like so far in the game, but he's got a 2-1 lead. And it will be Parker, Davis, and Fairley for Los Angeles in the bottom of the third. Parker singled his first time up. Jay set now. Here's the windup. The pitch to Parker, a 2-7 against the righty. He struck him out. Parker frozen. Fastball on the outside corner. The ump rings him up. And here's Willie Davis. Davis 0 for 1. Grounder to first in the first inning. Joey J with the windup. Pitch to Willie Davis, a 2-9. It's a comebacker. Jay has it over to Perez. And quickly there's 2 down. And that'll bring up Fairley. Fairley's 0 for 1 today. Jay the windup. Pitch to Fairley. A 3-9 against the right-hander is a ground ball to second base. Tommy Helms moves to his left, fields it cleanly, and throws to Perez to retire the side. So a 1-2-3 inning for Jay. We've played 3, and it's 2-1 Los Angeles. So Joey J doing his best to hold up his end of the pitcher's duel as we move along to the fourth. And it will be Pinson, Johnson, and Pavletic. Pinson grounded to short his first time up. Koufax now into the windup. Here's the pitch to Vada Pinson on a 5-10. That's a grounder to third base X. That will be Lefevre, a 3-E-24. Moving to his left now. Here's the roll on the play. On a 16, he's got it. Throws him out 1 down. So 5-3X, Pinson is retired. And here's DJ. DJ hit a ringing double his first time up, came around to score. Koufax gets his sign now. Here's the windup. The pitch to DJ on a 1-9. It's a high fly ball to deep left field. Forget about it. That one's into the seats, and the game's tied up. Holy crap. Home run, Darren Johnson. And what do you do for an encore? A homer and a double off of Koufax. For Johnson, that's his 4th home run of the season. Let's take another look. 1-9, no doubt about it. And here's Pavletic. Pavletic 0 for 1. Koufax gets the sign now. Pitch to Pavletic, a 1-12 as the tapper down to second base. Oliver's got it. Over to first, 2 away. Now batting will be Tony Perez. Perez flew out to left his first time up today. Koufax into the windup now. Pitch to Tony Perez on a 4-9 is a grounder to shortstop X. That's going to be Wills, 3-E-27. Here's the roll on the play. On a 20, Wills has it, throws across in time, and that will retire the side. 6-3X. The Reds, however, tied the game on the Darren Johnson home run. We go to the bottom of the fourth in a 2-2 ball game. I'm checking some of the chat now. Oh, and Yankee Bob attended the opening day celebration at Strat-O-Matic in 2011. I'd certainly like to hear more about that, Bob. That must have been a blast. And Jack points out this game is so unlike Koufax, this game might actually be pulled out by the Reds. And you know what? I'm kind of getting that feeling myself. Through 4 innings, he does not have a strikeout. Darren Johnson doing most of the damage with a double and a home run. As Joey J gets ready to go to work in the bottom of the inning, it will be Johnson, Lefevre, and Roseboro. Another thing to keep in mind is this Dodger lineup does not scare anybody. Cincinnati has some bats. The Dodgers have to win with pitching and base running, pretty much, and defense. So here's Lou Johnson now, struck out his first time against Jay. Jay gets the sign from Pavletic. Pitch to Lou, a 3-9 against the righty, swung on and missed strike 3, and down goes Johnson for the second time today. And that's 4 strikeouts for Joey J. And that'll bring up Jim Lefevre. Lefevre also struck out his first time against Jay. Jay the sign, now the windup. Pitch to Lefevre, a 6-7 to the lefty. Ball 4, he loses him. So Lefevre with the 1-out walk, not a threat to run. And here's John Roseboro now. Roseboro flew to left his first time up. Joey J from the stretch. Pitch to Roseboro. 4-5. Grounder to second, and that's going to be 2. Helms has it to Cardenas. To first, double play. And that will end the inning. No runs, no hits, no one left. We're through 4 innings in a 2-2 ball game. And Bob says, I also follow along, looking forward to the end of next week. And he's expecting, I'm going to have to move this chat up a little somehow so I can read that. Looking forward to the end of next week, expecting 84 set and 20 diamond jams. That's excellent. Hey, speaking of that, I just got my Windows game yesterday. Or was it the day before? No, it was yesterday. And one thing they did, and I never asked them for it, but you guys may have heard me mention it a time or two, in the league leaders, why not replace total average with OPS? And guess what? They did it for this season. It's new. Yeah, we have OPS leaders now. I never fully grasped total average. I understand what runs created per 27 outs means because I've read all the Bill James stuff. But that's kind of cool. Also, you can see the players in the lineup screen. You can see each player's on base and slugging chances against that particular pitcher. That I'm not all that excited about, but it's at least they're doing things. I usually have my cards out anyway, even when I'm playing Windows. So we move along to the 5th inning. It's the bottom of the order for Cincinnati. It'll be Cardenas, Harper, and Jay. Koufax ready to work now. Cardenas standing in from the right side. Here's the windup. Here's the pitch to Leo. A 2-4 left-handed, grounds to second base. That's Oliver. Fields it cleanly. Over to Parker, 1 down. And here's Tommy Harper now, 0 for 1 today. Koufax into the windup. Pitch to Tommy on a 2-4. Fly to right field. Harper goes the other way with it, but it's going to hang up just enough for Fairley to get under it and get the glove on it, and there's 2 down. And Jay will be the batter. Switch hitter once again, batting righty. Koufax, the windup, And the pitch on a 5-11, it's a grounder to first base X. That'll be Parker. He's a 1E13, and here's the play. On an 11, that will be the error range. That's the roll of a 10 on an E13, and Parker makes a fine play. Underhands to Sandy covering. And it's a 1-2-3 inning for Koufax. Through 5 innings, still does not have a strikeout. I can't remember that ever happening. So he's battling today. And Joey J has the Reds very much in this game. Jay is retired. Oh, no, he hasn't. He gave up the walk. Sorry. I'm catching up on the chat now. Well, about 500 were there in 2011. Boy, and Rick, I remember that 84 season well. That was one of my gambling adventure seasons. Was living in Grass Valley, California. Spent quite a bit of time in Reno that summer. As well as I actually had a bookie that year. Now, that's a story for another day. Again, I coasted along pretty good for a while, then got impatient and blew it. I blew it in the postseason, actually. Lost a bundle on the Cubs. I should have just saved it up and put it all on Detroit. And I knew that, but no. Thinking I could really get fatter on the playoffs. Here's Nate Oliver to lead off the bottom of the 5th now. Jay into the windup. It's a 4-8 against the righty. It's a single to 13 on a 19. That's going to be fielded by Perez. Underhands to Jay covering. 1 down. Here's Koufax now, right-handed batter. The pitch from Joey J is a 4-8 to the righty. Single to 13, and what do you know? Koufax is 2 for 2. So a base hit for Koufax with 1 out. 4-8, single to 13. The roll is the 7. So Koufax has been aboard twice today. Thinking, hey, if I'm not quite pitching up to my usual standards, at least I can help the club out with my bat. Exactly, Rick. Yeah, I had them for the series, and then when they got up 2-0, I started betting on them game by game and then doubling up after each loss. So I think I had about $330 on the line when Rick Sutcliffe took them out for Game 5. And by then, at that time, that was it. I mean, I was wiped out. I had nothing left to bet on the series. Which, as you guys pointed out there, Rick pointed it out. After 40 games, we all knew the Tigers were the best team in baseball. Hell, it was evident. So runner on first, 1 down. Here's Wills now. 1 for 2 today. Jay from the stretch, pitch to Morty, a 4-7 to the left-hander. Single to 18. That's going to be past Perez. Backed up quickly by Pinson. And Koufax will hold at second on a 1-star single. First and second 1 away. Jay is 6 endurance. And here's Wes Parker. Parker 1 for 2. Jay from the stretch. Pitch to Parker is a 4-6 to the lefty. Swung on and missed strike 3. And Parker strikes out for the second time today. So it will be up to Willie Davis now. Davis 0 for 2. Jay from the stretch. Pitch to Davis. Oh, we got a leaner. That's a re-roll. Fouls it off. The next pitch to Davis. 6-6 to the lefty. Ball 4. He walks him, and the bases are loaded. Wills down to second. Koufax down to third. And Ron Fairley will be the batter. And now there's action down in the Cincinnati pen. Ted Davidson getting loose down there. So here's Fairley now. Bases loaded, 2 down in a 2-2 ball game. Big at bat for Ron Fairley. Big at bat for Joey J. From the stretch now, here's the pitch. It's going to be a 4-2 to the lefty, and he walks in a run. Oh my. Koufax comes in to score. An RBI for Fairley. Wills to third. Davis down to second. And it's 3-2. And here comes Lou Johnson. Johnson struck out twice against Jay. He leads the club in RBIs. Jay, the full windup now. And the pitch to Lou Johnson is 6-12 to the righty is a grounder to first base X. That's Perez, a 4E17. Nothing guaranteed here. And here's the roll on the play. It's a 4 on a 4. That's down the line. Perez can't get to it. That's going to be extra bases. Here comes Wills to score. Hell, he can walk home. Davis comes around to score. Johnson into second with a 2 RBI double. And it's 5-2. Fairley will hold up at third. And here comes Don Hefner, and that's going to be it for Jay. Davidson's ready, the left-hander. They used McCool in real life, but that was later in the game, and they were leading. McCool is available. So 5-2 in the 5th. 2 down still. Davidson charged with getting out Jim Lefevre, who will turn around and bat right-handed now against the lefty Davidson. The windup and the pitch to Jim Lefevre is a 6-5 grounder to shortstop X. That's going to be Cardenas, 2E16. Cardenas steady as they come down there. There's the roll on the play. On a 7, he makes the play, throw to first base, and that will end the inning. So Davidson comes in and puts out the fire, 6-3X, but the Dodgers score 3 times on 3 hits and leave a pair. After 5 innings of play, it is Dodgers 5, Reds 2. Now let's see if Sandy can make it hold up. Not quite himself today, doesn't appear. And the Reds will have the top of the lineup. Helms, Rose, and Pinson as I catch up on the chat here. And welcome to Kurt Miller. Kurt Miller, the fact man. There you go. Pinson. And Joel, I think the Cubs were favored over the Padres. Wow, I missed a lot of chat here. And Bears Den let us know about that. Bears Den points out the 84 season is supposed to be printed on a better card stock. And yeah, Rick, the Cubs choked in the NLCS. They certainly did. They are up 2-0. And Bears Den doing a 73 replay. Bob points out Koufax is 2 for 2 without striking out a batter. The dice are indeed fickle, Bob. Joel, I believe the Cubs were favored over the Padres. And Veda Pinson, the most hits of any retired batter not in the Hall. And any of you guys who are regulars, you've heard my Pinson for the Hall soapbox several times already, this young replay. And yes, 1971 was advanced play. I remember that. Boy, I can remember the excitement of getting that set, because we had no internet or there was no news outlet that told us this in advance. I didn't find that out until the cards came. It's like, what the hell is this? It's on two sides now. And of course, quickly you see the lefty-righty. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure out what they were doing there, but I'm like, holy cow, this is great. And Pinson went to high school. His alumni included Frank Robinson, Bill Russell, and Kurt Flood. So a very productive high school. Okay, to the sixth we go. It's Tommy Helms to lead things off. Koufax gets his sign from Roseboro. Here's the windup. The pitch to Helms, a 2-8 against the lefty, and Helms has another hit. 2-8, base hit right up the middle. And Helms is 2 for 3. And here's Pete Rose now. Rose is 0 for 2, batting right-handed. Koufax from the stretch. Pitch to Rose, a 5-10 to the right. He gets a grounder to third base X. That'll be Lefevre, 3E24. And here's the roll on the play. On a 5, he's got it. The runner will advance. His only play is to first. Ground ball C. 5-3X, and that's a C that moves Helms into scoring position with one down. Now, that's not a very readable 5 there, is it? Well, let's do a little better than that. There we go. And with one out, the batter will be the aforementioned Veda Pinson. Pinson 0 for 2 today so far. Koufax into the windup now. The pitch to Pinson on a 1-3 left-handed, a grounder to first base. Parker has it. Looks towards third. He's got no play. His only play is to shovel it to Koufax covering. And Helms takes third on the play. So Helms advancing one base at a time here. 2 down, and here's Darren Johnson. And Johnson's done most of the damage today with a double and a home run. Koufax staring in to get the sign now. Here's the pitch to Johnson. On a 2-8, tapper to third. Lefevre has it. Throws him out. And that will do it. So Helms is left stranded. No runs, a hit, 1 left. We're through 5.5 now. Koufax still without a strikeout. Ted Davidson will come back out, pitch the 6th. I'm going to take a short break and get myself another cup of coffee here. Be right with you. I'm not going to mess with the pod. I'm just going to make a pod, a single cut. It will be the bottom of the order for the Dodgers here in the bottom of the 6th. Roseboro, Oliver, and Koufax. Davidson, the lefty, gets the sign from Pavletic. Here's the pitch to Roseboro on a 4-5. Fly ball into center field. Playable for Harper. He's right there to make the catch, 1 down. Here's Nate Oliver now, 1 for 2 today. Doubled and scored in the second. The windup and the pitch. That's a 1-11 against the lefty. Comebacker. Davidson has it. 2 Perez and quickly 2 away. And the batter will be Koufax. 2 for 2 today. I'm sorry, I can't help it. Drove in a run with a double in the second, singled, and scored in the fifth. Right-handed hitter now. A pitch from Davidson, a 3-6. Tapper to short, that's Cardenas. Easy play for Leo. And it's a 1-2-3 inning for Davidson. We've played 6 here at Dodger Stadium. It's Los Angeles 5, Cincinnati 2. As we move to the 7th, it will be Pavletic, Perez, and Cardenas coming to bat for Cincinnati. I'm going to wait just a minute here because that coffee should be done. And yes, indeed it is. And a Wilkinson sword was there. How many remember that one? I don't know where I came up with that. I don't recall half the shit, honestly. Here's Pavletic now. Koufax into the windup. The pitch to Don is a 1-4 comebacker. Sorry, I misread that. That's a 2-4, a huge difference. That's a high fly ball driven deep to left field. Johnson back, and it's gone. Home run Pavletic. Let's take another look. 2-4, left-handed, homer to 15. The roll is a 3, and it's a 5-3 ball game. And Franklin, I'm wondering the same. And welcome to Gerald. 5-3 Los Angeles now. Koufax not looking very Koufax-like this afternoon. Here's Perez, 0 for 2 so far. Sandy into the windup. Pitch to Tony, a 6-12, fly to left field X. That's Lou Johnson, a 2-5. Johnson ranging to the gap. Here's the roll on the play. On a 17, he's there to make the catch for the out. 7X, Perez retired. 1 down, and the batter will be Leo Cardenas. Koufax the windup, pitch to Cardenas on a 4-10. It's a grounder to shortstop X. That will be Wills. 3E27. At least the third X play to short, I think. Here's the play on a 19. Wills has it in the hole. Plants throws across just in time to nip the speedy Cardenas. And there are 2 away. And that'll bring up Tommy Harper. Harper 0 for 2. Vanished to the 8th spot in the lineup by Don Hefner. Koufax the windup. The pitch to Tommy Harper, a 6-11. It's a tapper to short. Wills has it, throws him out. And that will end the inning. But the Reds strike for another run. The homer by Pavletic. And it's a 5-3 ball game. And still, not a single strikeout for Sandy Koufax. And here's Davidson. He's going to come out again. He's a 3 endurance rated reliever. And it's the top of the order. The 2 switch hitters and the lefty, and then another lefty in Fairley. So this is a good spot for Davidson. Yeah, Gerald, not a single strikeout. Can you believe that? And Bearsden, yeah, if this was the current day, he'd be out by the 5th or 6th inning. On the other hand, he was probably overachieving his numbers. He came into the game with 46 strikeouts in 35 1/3 innings. Here's Wills now, batting right-handed. The pitch from Ted Davidson. It's a 3-3, and he walks him. And boy, that's not what you want to do. Davidson, of course, does not have the poor hold that Joey J has. He's a 0, but Pavletic's still a +2, so that makes him a 17 not held. He'll have to be held on, making him a 1-15. And here's Wes Parker. Wills taking his lead now. The pitch to Parker, batting right-handed, a 6-8 against the righty. That's going to be single 2 stars. Wills will go into third on the base hit by Parker, and the Dodgers are in business in the 7th. Runners on the corners and nobody out. So Wills not stealing, Parker able to poke it through the vacated right side with the runner being held. And here's Willie Davis, and now there's action again in the Cincinnati pen. Let's see what they've got down there. Looks like they've got 2 pitchers throwing. Don Notabart, the righty, is joined by Billy McCool, another left-hander. And same to you, Yankee Bob. First and third, Parker not held. The Reds will play... I'm going to let the dice decide. 1 to 3, it's in. It's too close for me. They'll be at double play depth. Left on left, it's a 5-3 to Davis. That's a grounder to first base X. That's Tony Perez. A 4-E-17, and here's the roll on the play. On a 5, that's going to be down the line for a double. So another double off of Perez's X chart. Wills can walk home. Parker will hold up at third. And it's an RBI double for Willie Davis. That makes it 6 to 3. And here comes Hefner. And he's going to pull Davidson. He's going to Notabart, the righty now. So we can clean up some scoring now. Jay 4 2/3. Davidson 1 1/3. Four, 5, 6, 7 hits allowed for Jay. Five runs. 1 run charged to Davidson so far. Jay walked 3. Struck out 5. Davidson, his inning and a third. 2 hits, the 1 run so far. Runners at second and third are his. He walked 1, did not strike out a batter, and here comes Notabart. Notabart, let's see what he's done in the replay so far. He is 0-0 with a 3 exactly ERA, 7 appearances, 1 save, 9 innings of work. So Notabart's been pretty good for the Reds out of the pen so far. Let's see what he can do here with second and third and nobody out. Ron Fairley will be the hitter. Second and third, nobody out. They can't get any further behind. They're going to pull the infield in. Here's the pitch to Fairley. That's a 3-7. Fly to center field B ? So Parker could tag up on that. The center fielder is Harper, a +1. Parker's 16, 18, 19. Yeah, he's going to tag. Here he comes. He'll score. Sacrifice fly Fairley. Parker comes in to score on the sacrifice fly. And it's 7 to 3. 1 down. And the batter will be Johnson. Lou Johnson 1 for 3. His double chased Jay in the 5th. Prior to that, Jay had fanned him twice. There's a pitch from Notabart on a 1-10. A high fly ball to deep left field. Back goes Johnson. Gone. Lou Johnson with a 2-run homer, and that breaks the game open. Davis in to score on that. And let's take another look at it. 110 to 16. The roll is a 7. And Lou Johnson, 4 RBIs today. That extends his team lead to 18, and that's his 3rd home run of the season. Holy crap. And it's 9-3. Still only 1 out as Jim Lefevre comes to the plate. He'll turn around and hit left-handed against Notabart. Notabart with the delivery. It's a 5-7 to the lefty. Swung on and missed strike 3. And that's the 2nd out. And here's Roseboro now. Roseboro 0 for 3 today. Notabart the windup. It's a 1-7 fly to center. That's going to be playable for Harper. He's right there under it, and that will retire the side. But the Dodgers blow it open with 4 in the 7th on 3 hits. No one left. And after 7 complete, it is 9-3 Los Angeles. Well, even a somewhat diminished Koufax should be able to make that stand up, don't you think? Still without a strikeout. I don't think I've ever seen this. Yankee Bob points out the next game he'll probably get 20. And Kurt Miller says that in 1967, Pinson led the league in triples with 13. I think he had a few this season as well. He had 6, not one of his better tripling years. Pinson could do everything on a baseball field, basically, and that's the problem. I think that's why he's not in the Hall. He didn't stand out in any one area, but he was excellent in all areas. The Reds will have a batter for Notabart. Notabart 2/3, 1 hit, 1 run. That means 3 runs charged to Davidson. No walks and a K. With the game seemingly out of reach, McCool will sit down. And Jerry Arrigo, another left-hander, will be getting loose. And they'll send up Lee May as a pinch hitter. Lee May pinch hit in this game in real life. Only 75 at-bats on that season, so I've been trying to use him sparingly. Monster card, 333, 2 home runs in those at-bats. Apparently, no, he's got a homer against righties. I was going to say all the damage, but most of the damage is against lefties. So Lee May is standing in now to lead off the 8th. Koufax into the windup. Pitch to Lee May on a 4-9 as a grounder to shortstop X. That's Wills, 3E27. And here's the play on a 19. He's got it, throws May out by several steps. 6-3X. So May retired. What has May done so far this year? Now, I should have announced that previously. That's his 3rd at-bat of the season. He's now 0 for 3. And here's Tommy Helms. Helms is 2 for 3. The pitch to Helms on a 4-5. Swung on and missed strike 3. And how about that? Koufax has his first strikeout of the ball game. And the crowd going crazy. Can you hear him? Oh, yeah. Yay, he struck somebody out. Here's Rose with 2 down. Rose 0 for 3 today. Koufax the windup. The pitch to Pete Rose is dice off the table. He fouls one off. That'll be a re-roll. Next pitch to Rose, a 6-3 to the right. He gets a base hit into right field. Rose reaches out and pokes a 2-out single into right. And Vada Pinson will be the hitter. Pinson, the subject of much discussion this afternoon. And I think you're right, Kurt. Here's Pinson now, 0 for 3 today. Left on left. From the stretch, a 6-7. He struck him out. And that's 2, and that will retire the side. No runs a hit, 1 left. So Koufax settling down finally. Maybe, he got that big lead and said, hey, just throw free and easy. Here's Arrigo, the lefty. Arrigo comes into the game 0-0, a 9 ERA, and just 2 innings of work, 2 ball games. And he'll be facing Oliver, Koufax, and Wills. Arrigo into the windup now. Pitch to Oliver, a 3-8. He walks him. Leadoff walk to Nate Oliver to start things off in the bottom of the 8th. Here's Koufax now, 2 for 3 today at the plate. The left-hander from the stretch. 3-5, grounder to short, that's going to be 2. Cardenas to Helms to Perez, double play. Runner is erased, 2 down, and here's Maury Wills. Wills batting right-handed against Arrigo. Here's the pitch on a 6-12. It's a fly to right field X. That's Pinson. 2E14. Drifting towards the line. Here's the roll on the play. That's a 9. That will be the error range. The roll of a 4 on a 14, and he can't get it. That's going to be a 2-base error on Pinson. So E9, Wills winds up at second base. First error of the ball game. And here's Wes Parker with 2 down. Parker turns around and bats right against Arrigo. On a 3-3, it's a fly ball to left, lazy fly ball. Johnson camped under it, and that will do it. No runs, no hits, 1 left. We go to the 9th inning. 9-3 Los Angeles. It will be Johnson, Pavletic, and Perez. Darren Johnson, of course, has done all the damage today. Well, him and Pavletic. Johnson is 2 for 3, a double and a home run against Koufax. And welcome Jeffrey. And yes, it sure is. Strat-O-Matic is a culture. It really is. And if you were here, did you catch all the conversation about the opening day at the Strat-O-Matic headquarters? It's a big deal. There are quite a few people who go every year. Here's Koufax now leading 9-3, but with only 2 strikeouts in the ball game, and they both came in the last inning. Darren Johnson, the batter. Here's the pitch. It's a 6-3 to the right. He gets a base hit into right field for DJ, and he's 3 for 4 today. And the way Koufax has been going, it looks like Joe Moeller's getting loose down there in the LA pen. And here's Don Pavletic, 1 for 3 with a home run. Koufax from the stretch. The pitch to Pavletic, a 3-7. That's a grounder to short. That's going to be 2. Wills has it. To Oliver to first, double play. And with that rally killer, the Reds are down to their last out. And it will be Tony Perez. Perez 0 for 3 today. Koufax the sign now. Here's the window. Pitch to Perez, a 5-11. It's a grounder to first base X. That's Parker. Parker, a 1E13. Rangers to his right. Here's the roll on the play. He's got it. Underhands to Sandy covering. And that's the ball game. No runs, 1 hit, no one left. And, not the prettiest Koufax game. He pitched just well enough to win, and he got some run support. And Kurt Miller says, the Chief Spokane Gary player of the game, despite only 2 strikeouts, Koufax with his bat and his arm. Well, he was 2 for 4 at the plate, a ribby and a run scored. Pitched a complete game. It's difficult to argue with that, Kurt. And Bears Den says, my next series is Atlanta at Montreal. And that is 1973. Now I'm mixed up. I'm not sure about that. A lot of good and interesting replay discussion in the chat today as well. So Koufax, despite, like you said, only the 2 strikeouts, he improves to 5-0. He's the first 5-game winner in the replay. He allowed 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 hits. As we mentioned, only the 2 Ks. 3 earned runs. He did not walk a batter. Joey J with the loss drops to 0-2. Forgot to write in where Rigo came in. He pitched an inning. No hits, a walk, no Ks, no runs. So your totals for the Dodgers is 9 hits on 10, 9 hits, 9 runs on 10 hits, no errors. The Reds, 3 runs, 8 hits, they made 1 error. And hell, Kurt, if he can win games like this, why not? Right? Not, like I say, not a Koufax performance by any stretch, but it was enough to win. And the Dodgers improving to 13-5, pull a half game in front of the Pirates again. I want to thank everyone for hanging out with me today. Hit that like button on your way out if you would, please. Tomorrow's game. Let's see who it's going to be. Saturday, April 30th. That's going to be the Kansas City Athletics at the New York Yankees. And let's see who's going to be on the mound for that. That's going to be Fred Talbot for Kansas City, Mel Stottlemyre for New York. That'll be at 1 p.m. Pacific. Hope you'll join me for that one. In the meantime, Spokane Steve saying thanks for joining me and have a very pleasant Sunday evening, everybody. Thanks again.